everyone. Welcome or welcome back. Whether you're returning or this is your first time here, I do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch or listen along. It does mean a lot to me. I always appreciate people taking the time to join me on this journey. If this is your first time hearing my voice, seeing my face, my name is Becky, as the channel indicates. I am a 46-year-old, happily single divorcee who lives in northern Michigan with my cat Snickers. I do not have a job. I am on disability because of hardware in my spine, missing a lung, a few other things, but those are the big two. So let's just jump right into the updates. I have just a few short updates, so it's not going to be a long video today. The first is some of you may or may not know or remember in May, I couldn't remember my own birthday month. In May, I turned 46. And as some of you may or may not know, depending on where you're at in life, when you turn 45, you are due for your first screening colonoscopy. Woo! So mine is scheduled for July 17th. I put it off as long as I possibly could, and here we are. Now, you probably also know, or you may not, whatever, that before you have any kind of anesthesia, you do have to be off of your GLP-1 for 2 weeks, at the minimum of 1 week, preferred 2 weeks, because it slows down your gastric digestiveness, and they don't want anything left in your stomach that you could possibly potentially aspirate on. So for a colonoscopy, I don't know the exact rules, but I think it's like for 24 hours before you're on a liquid fast, and then most of it's just the magnesium citrate to clean out your system. I don't know the exact rules. I have to look at the pamphlet, but basically they don't want any leftover food because your digestion is so slow that you could potentially aspirate on. So they really want your system cleaned out. And so I'm going with the 2 week route just to be on the safe side. And so my last shot was on Monday, June 29th. So it has officially been 1.5 weeks since my last shot. Like I had a week where I would have taken my shot. I think so. Let me double check. I don't think it's been an extra week. Maybe it has. Okay. So yeah, there was the 1 full week from the 29th to the 6th where I would have injected myself normally on the 6th. And then now it's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it's been a week and a half, a week of normal, and then that like 5-day period where I have been without. And food noise has not come back, but hunger has. Hunger is there. That feeling of just, let's eat all the food. And I'm feeling like I can easily overeat my hunger. And I'm feeling like normally when I'm on my GLP, my Zepound, I just want to eat like reasonably healthy things. I'm like, oh, I'll grab a yogurt, or oh, I'll have some turkey lunch meat with cheese stick. I couldn't think of the words. Wrapped around a cheese stick. I just automatically go for the healthier-ish things. And last night I had tortilla chips with shredded cheese on them, the trash nachos. They were so good. And I probably ate more than I should have. And I haven't had those in so long, like years. But last night I was like, this is what I want. And I just felt like I wanted to have everything. I was like, I'll have a fudgesicle. I eat the Carb Smart fudgesicles once in a while as a treat. I was like, I'll have a fudgesicle. I'll have a bowl of cereal. I'll have some tortilla chips. And it was just this sort of, everything sounds good. And, I want everything. And I know I wasn't feeling physical hunger. It wasn't necessarily, my hair is doing something. It wasn't necessarily like, oh, I'm bored, I want to eat. It was just, I want to eat. Um, just to eat, like, because it felt like the right thing to do, even though I know it really wasn't, if that makes sense. Um, and in a way, I felt like I couldn't get enough to eat. So I'm not doing great so far. We're coming up on 1 week of no shot, and then it'll be a full 2.5 weeks when I have my colonoscopy because my colonoscopy is scheduled for Friday the 17th. Um, I believe Friday is the 17th. Um, but it's the 17th. My colonoscopy is scheduled for the 17th. So from June 29 to the 17th, it will officially be like 2.5 weeks that I'm out. It won't be just 2 equal weeks. But you do the best you can do with the timeline that you have. So yeah, not loving that right now. Um, I feel like I just gotta lock in and get myself under control. And last night was the first night that I was really aware that I was not as in control as I would want to be. Excuse me. I'm drinking my first afternoon coffee, the third cup of the day. Um, that's about it for that update so far, is that I'm not doing great. What was the second update? Sorry, I had to get my notebook. I couldn't remember. The second update, not notebook. The second update is my possible treatment plan for my foot. Now, I am going to show you some pictures of my foot, and I am going to give you an official warning right now that if you want to look away, I will say look away um, when I put them up, because if you don't want to see an open wound, or you have an aversion to feet pictures, or you don't want to see an open wound on my foot, you can look away. So I will put in a look away warning, and then I'll tell you when it's safe to come back and the pictures are down. Okay, here is your official warning that the pictures are going to go up. Okay, and now the pictures are down, so it's safe to open your eyes. Okay, so for those of you who saw, you know what I'm dealing with. What I am dealing with is, if this is your foot and this is the heel and this is the padding and these are your toesies, right up here under the pad, I have a hole in my foot, an open wound, an ulcer, whatever you want to call it. Um, and it hurts. I did that June walking challenge and I'm trying to exercise more, and it hurts. There are so many days when I don't want to exercise because my foot hurts. Um, yeah. So there is one way for a wound like that to heal. And I know from experience it is being total non-weight bearing, complete 100% for at least 2 weeks. In a perfect world, it would be more like 6 weeks, but at least 2 weeks. I am a slow healer, so I always have been. So, like I said, in a perfect world, it would be 6 to 8 weeks, but 2 weeks minimal. Um, I have been in a skilled nursing facility before. Once because I had pneumonia and influenza A in my lung, and I was extremely sick. I was in ICU for several days, and then they released me into the skilled nursing facility so I could do physical therapy and respiratory therapy before returning to the homeless shelter. And then Um, the second time I had a PICC line and I was on no weight bearing for my foot because I just had foot surgery. So that was a double whammy. So my idea is now that it's a new year and my insurance is rolled over and I have Medicare, not Medicaid anymore. Um, what if I'm seeing my podiatrist the day before my colonoscopy? I'm seeing him on the 16th. I'm going to talk to him and see what if it's possible for me to be admitted to a skilled nursing facility for 2 to 3 weeks, being total non weight bearing and like water protection because they wheel you down to the shower. They um, bring you your food, they bring you your medicine. Basically, you don't do anything except lay in bed all day, which, yes, it's boring. You lay in bed all day, play on your phone, watch TV, read books. I mean, I can find things to do. Um, but the downside of that is leaving my Snickers. I don't want to be apart from Snickers for that long. But then again, I really want my foot to get healed. It's impeding my daily life. Now, the other way it could potentially be total non weight bearing is if the wound gets infected and I end up spending several days in the hospital under VENMO. I don't want my foot to get infected. I want to clarify that. That is just something that, if it happened, that's what would happen and that would contribute to the healing of it. But I don't want my foot to get infected. I don't want to spend several days in the hospital. I don't like being in the hospital. Um, and I do keep my foot very clean so that it won't get infected. I clean it with Dial Orange in the shower. And my podiatrist, he's like, everybody should wash their feet with an antibacterial. So at the end of the very end of the shower, he's like, because the bottom of your shower is one of the filthiest places in the entire house. He's like, I could tell you horror stories. And I'm like, yeah. So at the end of every shower, I use Dial Gold on my feet. And then when I'm done with that, before I put socks on, I use an alcohol wipe to wipe the wound itself and keep it clean. So I do keep it very clean. I don't want it to get infected. I'm just saying if that were to happen, that is what would happen. But I don't know if just being total non weight bearing for my foot to heal for the ulcer, I don't know if that's enough to be admitted. And if it is, I don't know if my podiatrist would be like, yeah, I want to admit you for that. And thirdly, I don't know if my insurance would cover it. I don't know if A, B, or C is true. All three of those have to be true for it to work out. But that's the only idea I have right now. I do realize there is the motorized scooter with the knee pad thing. I can't use those. I used one once for a few days and it really messed up my back because you're so uneven. Your knee is like here and your hip is like here and the weight is on your left leg because it would be my right knee on the pad and your weight is on your other leg and you're like limping along and it really I have so much hardware in my spine that it just killed my back and I had to get these shoes like to lift my foot up, these lift shoes. This one, it was like you put it around your normal shoe. Um, and I ended up falling many times and spraining my ankle multiple times in just a few days. I sprained it and sprained it and sprained it like 3 times because I kept falling. So using an e-scooter is not within the plans. That is pretty much the update. Oh, I do have a question for you guys. I feel like I want to get a microphone. Um, I would like something that works with both my phone and my computer. But I don't really know where to start. I did try buying one time off of Amazon and it didn't really work. And I just kind of gave up after that. So, and I didn't notice a difference using the mic or not using the mic. I don't know if maybe I should have like set my phone much further away and tried the mic and then listened to the difference between with the mic and without the mic. But as it was, I didn't hear a difference with the mic or without the mic. So anyone out there who has a mic that you really love and is reliable and really helps you out, I would appreciate if you would email me. My email is in the description, and the description of this video and in my bio. I will put my email. If you would email it to me, a link, or just put it in a link in the comments, I would really appreciate it because I am really seriously looking into getting a mic and I would like to try one out. So I appreciate that. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. So please feel free to share this video, hit like, subscribe if you're not already, press the notification bell because I know you'd be super bummed if you missed a single one of my videos. And feel free to leave a nice comment if you want. And I do appreciate you watching. Thanks, and have a great day.